Hey, what's up? I hope everyone's doing well. I have an idea I want to show you, okay? And I was thinking about this as I was just kind of playing around with Microsoft Word and playing around with some new features. And I kind of had this idea as a kind of easy way to get the ball going if you're having trouble writing, okay? So I'm going to call this like a two-step process for addressing writer's block. And this is something I used to do, and I used to do this in a much more complicated way. And it's like some of the technology is advanced to a level where it's much easier to do this. Like you used to have need to have better technology. Nowadays, it's basically just in Word. So I'm going to show you something that I hope you find kind of cool. So if we're in Word here, and you know, there's a good chance you already know how to do this, but you might not know the second step. So here we have in your normal Word, and you'll notice this dictate function, right? And I don't know if you played around with it, but I would suggest trying it. And even if you're someone that likes typing, I would suggest playing around with this function a little bit. And remember, all of you have access through the school downloads to Microsoft Office. To play around with it a little bit. And so there's a shortcut, and the shortcut is on the keyboard. It's the Alt button and the backwards, I forget what it is, but it's like the little squiggle. It's like on my keyboard, it's right under the exit sign. You'll notice when I press the 2, it turns on the dictate. So here, let's watch. Perception. I'll start over because now it's catching every word. So I'll finish this sentence, then erase it, then start over. Perception is the interpretation of what is sensed, period. The airwaves that connect the ears might be interpreted as noise or as musical sounds, comma, for example, period. The physical energy transmitted to the retina of the eye might be interpreted as a particular color, comma, pattern, comma, or shape, comma, depending on how it is perceived. Okay, period. So now, right, that same button turns it off. So now see how that is. Okay, so now I read a little bit of a note from a psychology class, but what you could do there is, say you're having trouble about a topic, you could just sit back and turn on the dictate and just talk about it a little bit, right? And then you can go through and edit and pull out the good parts. And then my next point is, you're going to take this and I'm going to get you to download a program that's free, or you can use the online version. It's called Natural Reader. So if you just put in like Natural Reader 16, actually, you can find it. So now watch, I'm going to just copy and paste. I'll stop screen sharing for a sec. Now I'm going to screen share that application with you. Okay, so this is what the desktop version of Natural Reader looks like. Okay, so I just cut and pasted that text that I just wrote. I'll paste it here. So now what I can do is I can listen to what that sounds like, because maybe I messed up. Right, you can notice like I kind of intentionally left the okay there at the end. So I'm listening back to it.
Perception is the interpretation of what is sensed. The airwaves that connect the ears might be interpreted as noise or as musical sounds, for example. The physical energy transmitted to the retina of the eye might be interpreted as a particular color, pattern, or shape, depending on how it is perceived. Okay.
Okay, so now I'm like, okay, well, I don't want this part. And maybe I thought, maybe I wanted an extra comma up here, which I probably don't, but right. So I can touch it up here, cut, paste it back. So then you're doing this two-piece process where you're using Word, you're dictating, you're bringing it over here, you're listening it back in chunks. You don't like this, you like this, boom, put it back. So it's like you're using this as your place to hear back out loud what you said. Okay, so the magic in this is you're incorporating proofreading throughout the process, but you're also just letting your mind relax and think of ideas. right? And just talk about it a bit. Because I think sometimes we get caught up when we want to have the perfect first sentence. And it's like, just talk about the idea for a while. What is interesting about it? And then you can, then you can reorganize it and stuff later and then pull it into something like this to get your sentences and your structure tighter. Listen to it. Does it make sense? Are you finishing your points? All right. I hope you found this like kind of useful, and I'm going to keep this quick, but cheers and hang in there. I'll keep doing ones like this if you like these things. Cheers.